How's everybody doing today? What I wanted to do in this video is talk about tabs. A lot of people spend a lot of wasted time using the spacebar instead of using tabs. Tabs can be a very efficient way to set up a document, especially if it's a document where you've got a couple columns of information that you want spaced out in a particular way. Let me try to give you an example. Let's say I've got Ford's kiteboarding store, and maybe I've got 2 or 3 different items, each with an associated price, but I don't want it just to appear at the left margin. Let's say, for example, my first item is a Cabrina 12-meter kite, and I want it to start about here. So I had to hit the space bar about 15, 16 times. Now I'm going to type Cabrina 12-meter kite, and I want the price further out, so I'm going to have to hit the space bar again. Again, I'm hitting the space bar maybe, I don't know, 20 times, 25 times, and let's say the price of this kite is $1,200. So I hit enter, I come back around, and I'm going to have to do all that again if I want a second item and a third item. So I'm constantly hitting the space bar. A much nicer way to do it is with tabs. And let me try to show you how. The first thing you might want to do if you're using tabs is set your ruler bar. It's just a nice visual for you. And usually we start, we're on the Home tab by default. To get to the Ruler tab, excuse me, the View tab where you're going to find the ruler, click on View, tell it you want to view your ruler, and what it does is it'll give you a nice visual up here. And all your tabs will display up here as well, which is also a nice visual for you. I look at this and it looks like my first tab, I want it to start at about 1 inch, and my second tab, I want it to end at about 5 inches. My first tab, I want it to be left justified. My text is going to be left justified against my tab. My second tab, I want it to be right justified against my tab, meaning the text over here, if I have multiple lines, they're all going to be lined up on the right side. That means on this tab, I'm going to set it as a left tab, and over here, I'm going to set this one as a right tab. You can also set a tab as a center tab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set my tabs now. So I'm going to go back to my Home tab, and I have a paragraph item here. I click on this little square next to paragraph. It'll bring up a window. In this window, I see I got a lot of different things, but on the lower left here, I see tabs. I'm going to click on it. Here's where I get to set my tabs. I've got my tab setting window. Now, if you remember, I said I want one at about 1 inch. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to have a tab set at 1 inch. It's going to be a left tab set. I'm going to hit set. That's my first one. If you remember, I said I want a second one at about 5 inches, which is going to be a right tab. So click on 5. I change this to right. I click set. Now it shows me I've got 2 tabs. That's all the tabs I need, so I hit OK. And I notice up here in the ruler bar, I can see them both. The left one is designated with an L. The right one is designated with kind of an inverted L. And now, let's say I've got another kite. Maybe I've got a 12-meter GK Sonic. The nice thing is I don't have to hit a bunch of space bars. I hit the tab key once. Boom, I'm right out to where I want to be. A GK Sonic 12-meter. I hit the tab key again. Takes me right out here. Now notice this is going to be right justified, so if this one is $900, I type 900. It backs away from the tab as I type, leaving everything right justified. If I need a third item, hit enter, hit tab, takes me right out here. Let's say this next one is a Cabrina 10-meter kite, and that sells for $1,400. Just hit my tab key, get to the first tab, hit my tab key, get to the second tab, and I'm pretty much all set to go. It's a real nice way to do things. It really helps you alleviate using spaces and spaces all the time. Saves you an awful lot of typing. Another thing that's really nice is you can even add a character between here if you'd like, if you don't just want blank space. Now that's called a leader. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start a new document. get rid of this document. So I go to my Home tab, say I want a new document, new blank document. So I'm starting from scratch again. And what I'm going to do in this case, let's say I want to make a table of contents. So I'm going to go to my paragraph, I'm going to go to my tabs, I'm going to say, all right, I'd like a left tab maybe at 1 inch, and I'm going to set that. Maybe I want a right tab this time at 5.5 inches. Or actually maybe even at 6 inches I'll try. So I'll go 6 inches. I'll say a right tab. But what I want is I want what's called a leader between these two tabs. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on number 2. So this is a right tab set at 6 inches with a leader. I hit set. I hit OK. Now I'm setting myself up to type a table of contents. Let's say in my table of contents, the first thing I have is tabs and margins. And that's on page 2. So I hit my tab to get out here. I hit my second tab. Notice instead of just giving me blank space between, it gives me these dots. That's on page 2. I hit enter. I hit tab. Maybe my next set of things is setting up tables in Word. So I type my tables, hit tab. Maybe that starts on page 5, and so on. So a leader is just if you want something other than blank space to appear between your tabs, you can use a leader. The other thing you can do if you need to get rid of tabs, you decide, oh, these tabs didn't work out for me, I can clear a particular one or I can clear all, whatever you want to do. Anyhow, hopefully that gave you some more information on tabs. Now you'll be able to use them. Thanks. We'll see you next time.